is our next to last, thus far reading from the Renga Tour. And the Renga Tour, which has brought us all over Kansas, we're in Downs and Beloit, and we're going to Manhattan next, and we've just been everywhere we can get ourselves to. It followed the publication of To the Stars Through Difficulties, a Kansas Renga in 150 voices. And this followed the website 150kansaspoems.wordpress.com, which during 2012, we had another part of the Renga revealed every 2 or 3 days. A Renga is an ancient Japanese form. It's a communal poem. Each poet adds a little bit more to it. Kind of like the ball of twine we saw yesterday in Copper City. Except if you unfurled it, I don't know if it would get you to Denver. But usually Rengas are written at Renga parties, which involve sake and people sitting around, and each one will add 2 or 3 lines. We wrote our Renga across a huge distance, across time, and we used a Google Doc, and every time it was, I put people in order as they were accepted as poets into the Renga, and every time it was someone's turn, they got an email that said, Renga at your door. And they then had 2 days to read everything before them and write something that followed and picked up some of the threads and took them forward. This Renga came at a very important time for us, more important than I did when I first came up with the idea. Because with the arts funding being eliminated in Kansas and still not actually restored in much of a real way, writers as well as other artists needed more than ever to speak their truth and put their art out there. And this allowed all of us with connections to Kansas to explore the politics, geography, weather, culture, personal experience, and communal experience of what Kansas is to us. And so the title, To the Stars Through Difficulties, could be the motto for any life, but sometimes more than others. The other thing I do want to mention is that the book Begin Again is there, and that's the project from 2011, and that's 150 poems to celebrate our state's 150th anniversary of statehood. And that was also unfurled on the 150 website. And right now, to bring us to 2013, we have Poem of the Week, and we have some poets here, Roy and Rhonda and Lee. Anyone else on there yet? Sean, you will send me something, and Thea and Jackie, you send me things, and then pick one out and put it on there. And each week there's a new poem for people to consider. So, without further ado, what we're going to do with the reading is each poet will read the Renga before them, their own part of the Renga, and what comes afterwards. And I'll start and finish because I have the first and last poem, and so I don't have a Renga before me. And I should also say this was a seasonal poem. It started in winter, it ended in winter. And we had a whole year between. No other way most of the time, and yet the light unscrolling from the milky horizon conceals what will shine above, around, below us, just hours from now on the longest night. Snow, ice, and rain, what melts or refreezes clings to branches and grasses. Did you think it would be easy to step outside, to get on with the day and the weather of the collapsed blizzard? Not when a beloved watches his life narrow to breath, not when the car barely starts, the windshield won't emerge from its ice, or the dear ones long gone are suddenly as close as sleet is to rain. The veil lifted, on the bare branch an inverse star, one bluebird. And I'm followed by Roderick Townley from Prairie Village, very fine poet, and has been on tour with us here, there, and yonder too. And now, there to the right, the red slash of a cardinal's wing, a momentary artery of flight flung lifeline from pine to fence post, sky to pulsing wrist. Who says it's difficult to get the news? Yes, the cold has spikes and frozen furrows of last year's cornfield stubble to a blind horizon. But look up. Big plans unroll on high, black twigs written on a bright blue sky.